So the Water Supply Advisory Committee needs to look at alternatives, and we had a lot of community interest in figuring out how to, a range of alternatives, and so we said, let's get everybody together and put the alternatives out and have an opportunity for the whole community to see what the range of alternatives are. We've been working on this for about 3 months, and most of the work has happened in the last month, and really a lot of the work has been done by the people who are bringing the alternatives forward, and so that's really been a great help. We're just really starting right now, so we're hoping that when we move forward during the rest of the day, we'll get even more packed in there. It would be really good to see. For more information, you can visit the Santa Cruz Water Supply Advisory Committee's website at www.santacruzwatersupply.com. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Hello. We're going to start our plenary session. Thank you all for coming to the Water Supply Convention, Santa Cruz Water Supply Convention. This is about our water and our future. We appreciate the efforts of all the presenters who've done work over the last several months to prepare their information for today. And we hope that you'll stop by and talk to all the presenters. In a little bit, there's going to be a chance for you to hear from the presenters very briefly about what their work is and to point you to their table so that you can be sure to talk to them. So the purpose of today's event is really to display a range of alternatives of how we might improve Santa Cruz's water supply reliability. And that is really the key task that we're focused on with the Water Supply Advisory Committee. Okay, so with that, I want to thank a couple of people before I hand it over to Doug Engfer, who's been the Water Supply Advisory Committee member who's really led this up. And in particular, I want to thank the Water Department support staff who've really worked hard to make this happen. I want to thank the Water Supply Advisory Committee members who have done a lot of work to vet the alternatives, to facilitate conversations with the various presenters to help them get their materials ready for this particular presentation. With this, I'm going to turn it over to Doug Engfer, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about the Water Supply Advisory Committee and the work that they're doing.
Thank you, Rosemary. And on behalf of your Water Supply Advisory Committee, welcome. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Rosemary and the Water Department for all their help on bringing this together today. We definitely could not have done it without them. But more importantly, I want to thank you all for being part of this conversation. We have a challenging problem in front of us, and in order to solve that, we need meaningful engagement from all the best minds and all the most enthusiastic folks in our community. And I think the turnout today, both in terms of the presenters with a couple of dozen of different proposals, and all of you all who are here to get educated, show that we really do have an engaged community. As a member of the Water Supply Advisory Committee, speaking for myself, but I think also I'm relatively confident speaking on behalf of the entire committee, we really appreciate the engagement of the community, coming to our meetings, corresponding with the committee, and giving us your feedback and your thoughts throughout the process. Let me take a minute and talk about that process. As I mentioned, we have a challenging problem in front of us. Challenging problems require comprehensive thinking and thorough decision models. And any of y'all who have attended any of the Water Supply Advisory Committee meetings know that we're deeply engaged in that process right now, establishing a number of different potential future scenarios for the town and understanding how various solution portfolios map against and solve our supply-demand mismatch, again, in a range of those different scenarios. In that process, none of us is as smart as all of us, which is why we're here today. And to the point of today's event is for all of us to get educated about a wide range of potential solutions, in that educational process to evaluate those solutions on the highest level criteria that the committee is applying. And those are effectiveness, that is how productive is the solution with respect to either creating supply or storage or reducing demand. Practicability, can we get it done? The environmental benefits or impacts, and the benefits and impacts for the local community, in particular the local economy. Those criteria are instantiated in the evaluation solution that Civinomics here in town has graciously developed and have deployed here at the event. So please take advantage of that, either on your device or on devices that they have, or on paper, and give us your evaluation, because we as the committee need to hear from you so that we can get your perspective on this and factor that into our thinking. Probably the most important part of that evaluation, though, is the little comment box that's associated with every one of the solutions. Because what we need to be able to do is direct our ongoing research based on our comments on and evaluations of these various solutions. So please note open questions. Please note open issues or concerns that you have about any of the solutions. And the committee will take that into account as we plot our research going forward. So I've told you what it is. It's an evaluation. Let me make clear what it ain't, okay? It ain't an election. It ain't a popularity poll, right? What we're trying to do here is evaluate these various solutions in terms of their ability to be a viable part of the solution portfolio we're going to put together. So please take advantage of that opportunity. Help us get smarter by sharing your thoughts. And with that, Sid, I'm going to turn it over to the folks who've put a huge amount of effort in today, and that is the individual presenters, so that they can introduce themselves to you. They get a full 2 minutes to do so, okay? So it's going to be quick. It's going to be a quick parade here, but the idea is to give you an idea of the range of solutions we have and where those presenters are sitting, so you can spend some time with the ones you want to spend the most time with. And with that...
Good morning. I'm Bruce Van Allen. I'm the co-chair of Santa Cruz Desal Alternatives. Desal Alternatives has several proposals. Our displays are in the center booth in the back there. And I want to briefly, in my 2 minutes, mention a few of them. One is that we are strongly supportive of conservation pricing. The city has taken a good step towards moving towards a rate structure that encourages conservation, and we've been encouraging them to take that further and apply conservation pricing to all classes of water users instead of just residential. In addition, we promote the idea of water neutral development so that new development pays its way with water usage and helps reduce consumption in the rest of the district by promoting and helping subsidize conservation in the rest of the water district. We support building code revisions and on-site better use of water, rainwater catchments, gray water, and other alternatives. There's a lot of detail about that that's, again, available at our booth. And a major thing that is more of a regional approach that we strongly support is to restore our underground water supply, the aquifers, through regional interties among the different water districts and watersheds in the county so that we make the best use of the available water. Finally, a crucial part of having secure water supply is making sure that the watersheds of the county, where the water comes from, the San Lorenzo Valley watershed and the other ones, are in the best condition they can be. And so we support watershed restoration in a whole lot of different measures to make sure that when the rain falls and the water comes down the streams and goes into the groundwater, that as much of it goes through the natural processes and is preserved and protected before it even gets into our plumbing system. I'm going to turn it over to the next speaker now. Thank you very much from Desal Alternatives.
My name is Bill Malone, and I'm booth number 25 there. My idea is to create and maintain a 3-year reserve supply of water for drought relief. That is, make sure that we don't have to ration water and stuff like that. And for fish habitat, we'll figure out whatever the fish and wildlife people want to support the fish. We can provide them that amount of water. And aquifer recharge, helping our neighbors, Soquel Creek, with recharging their aquifers, so we can ship the water over there. So the question is, where do we get the water? First question. I've got a chart here. I know you can't see it, but you can come by and take a look at it. It shows the stream flow for the San Lorenzo River. Right now, we take about 2 billion gallons a year from the San Lorenzo River, 2 billion gallons. The average stream flow for the last 90-some years is about 30 billion gallons. That's 15 times more than we take. The rest of the water just flows out to the ocean. My suggestion is we take some of that water, take more than we are now, take some of that water and store it, and then we can provide these 3 items that I'm suggesting here. Now, I'm going to put this down. And where do we store it? And you come by my booth. I've got 5 different ideas of where we can store it. And the reason I like 5 different ideas is it provides some redundancy. The water department can figure out where to draw the water. So that, okay, I'm getting near the end. Come by. I've got a more detailed thing. And one thing I want to point out that is 2 things. One is that we're doing this technology now. I'm just saying we'll do more of it. The other thing is the desalination plant that we've been talking about for years would provide less than 1 billion gallons of water a year. Provide less than 1. What I'm proposing would provide 3 billion gallons of water a year. So 3 times the amount of a desalination plant, and at much less of the cost. And the other thing is, like I say, we're doing it right now. So come by and see me, booth number 25.
Good afternoon and welcome all. I'm Paul Gratz. I've been a 30-year-plus resident of Santa Cruz, and I'm here today as a concerned community resident and an activist. I became involved in water issues most directly when I learned about the city's effort to promote a costly and environmental risky desalination plant. And as many of you voted for Measure P overwhelmingly, that was the stimulus for why we're here today. That's why we're here today, to come up with alternatives, share them, and choose evidence-based, proven ways of supplying our water needs in the region. And that includes conservation as well. I'm over a half a century old. I was born in Southern California. I've seen the rampant growth. I've seen the economic vitality. And I've also experienced the degradation of our environment. I'm particularly concerned with climate change and the restricted carrying capacity we have for water and all our natural resources in this state. So that underscores what we're facing here. There's similar problems in other areas, but remember, the county of Santa Cruz, along with the city of San Francisco, the county of San Francisco, we're the 2 smallest counties in our state. We ought to be able to collaborate with all the agencies in our area and solve this groundwater management problem together instead of fragmented silos and water agencies. Now, I have 3 projects on my left that I'm sharing with you today. I'm not going to describe them, I'm just going to mention them. That's regional restructuring and groundwater management in a sustainable way. Recycled water to irrigate both our golf courses. And I'm asking the city, or encouraging the city, to adopt the WaterSmart online conservation and customer engagement program as soon as possible. Thank you.
Microphone? Okay. My name's Rick Davies. I'm a visitor from Anchorage, Alaska. I was the State Director of Water for Alaska and Chief of the Alaska Hydrologic Survey. And unfortunately, in 1994, I wrote a paper about the global freshwater crisis, and I've been traveling around the world since. What I do, basically, is I go to communities that suddenly discover they have a water problem and try to help them figure out how to get through that and plan out the next 50 years. I have never seen any city, any drainage, or any nation that I've worked for do what you guys have done. You have done a very, very, very good job of looking at every reasonable alternative, even some that may not be reasonable, and trying to bring those together. So, number one, I congratulate you. I've never seen anybody do this. I said that when the city first called me, 2 years ago? I said, my God, you guys have really done your homework. I'm here because in the course of doing what I do, I have been an outspoken critic of desal for over 20 years. I don't like reverse osmosis because of what they put back in the sea. And in many countries today in the Middle East, they're re-ingesting their waste now. Same thing in China, same thing in India and many other places. Our system doesn't put anything back in the sea. Nothing. Nothing. I know it's hard to believe, but our paper's right over here, first table on the left here. What I would encourage you to do is I think there's multiple things that you can do here to solve your problem. Okay? Recycling. Yes, our system does that. And in fact, it could work together with desalting seawater, and you reduce the amount of water you bring in. Our system's 90% efficient. RO is 50% efficient. We took the RO pilot that you did, and we went through it, and we took out everything that we don't need. I'm right over here.
My name is Scott McGilvray. We have ideas other than desalination. This poster announces a film that will be premiered at the Rio Theater next Tuesday night, October the 28th. It'll be a 20-minute film about all the other solutions than desalination. Desalination is a 900 million gallon a year, $130 million capital project. In this room are 3 projects that bring more water for substantially less money. Over here, Terry McKinney talks about Ranny collectors. Make sure you see it. Next to him, Jerry Paul Lockifer. In the far back corner, Dana Ripley and recycled water. My booth, number 15, isn't important. It faces in this direction.